Hello everyone, Lore Master of Sotek here, and it's time for that day of the month, my friends. I apologize that we didn't have a community event for August, but there was a lot going on and things were really busy, and I kind of needed to take a bit of a break to focus on some things going on around here. But it's time to get back on the wagon. And we did a little bit of a vote in the community contest Discord and decided that this time we're not doing a speed run. Instead, we're going to be trying to do something a little different. That way, Anticity doesn't win every single prize and keep robbing my bank and not giving anyone else a chance to win. So, this time, we're going to be doing the first endurance challenge for Total War Warhammer 2 as the third community contest. So, what are the rules? Well, first of all, if you would like to participate, there will, of course, be all the relevant links you need down in the description and the top pinned comment. That way you can find everything you need. These links will include a Discord invite link to the Community Contest Discord, which are a very nice group of guys who are very, very active for these types of events. They tend to share a lot of strategies over on there, so if you want to kind of brainstorm with others and maybe try and find a way to get involved, either just to find an exploit, or maybe just because you want to be part of a community, or maybe you're looking for ideas that you can steal and secretly work on your own potential build to try and win, then this is the place for you. I am, of course, trying to turn it into a fairly active zone, so I would appreciate anyone who even has a fleeting interest to join up. And yeah, anyway, beyond that, the rules are, of course, going to be posted down below, and I will go over the rules here in just a minute, but first let's talk about what the Endurance Challenge is going to entail. So in the past two community challenges, the goal has been all about speed. And it is worth noting that these community challenges are generally inspired by the speedrun community, meaning that the goal is to win by any means possible so long as you work within the rules that I establish. So doing things like exploiting the AI or trying to find bizarre ways to quote-unquote break the game in order to achieve victory is totally fine. However, there are minor exceptions, or I should say major exceptions, that are noted within the rules. For instance, Legend of Total War, of course, did his video a little bit ago about the whole situation on that there is a game-breaking bug where if you hit the backspace button during the AI's turn, it basically makes the AI short circuit and just not able to do anything during their turn. That will not be allowed. And the reason is not because I want to discourage people from abusing the AI using exploits, but if everybody uses that exploit, it literally ruins the entire situation, and those are not the kind of bugs that we want. You know, something that makes it where there's no longer any skill involved whatsoever, and it's just who has the longest set of patience, that's not great. We don't want that. So that will not be allowed, but currently that is the only exploit that's not allowed. I will note that because this is the first endurance challenge, the rules are subject to change. I don't anticipate any changes, but sometimes when we do a new event, like when we did the very first speed run, sometimes people will find an exploit that kind of, it makes declaring a winner very difficult, if not outright impossible, and in that case we may ban that exploit. So I do ask that you be patient if something like that comes up, and try and be understanding, just because there are prize pools for these, and they're moderately significant prize pools. So although we're happy to let people abuse the AI, we don't want people to abuse the challenge, if that makes sense. In any event, speaking of prizes, just like the last one, with the help of Legend of Total War, the Cheese Master himself, we will be offering a bounty of $150 for each of the two characters that you can run. So if you win either, well, we'll get into who they are in a minute, but if you win one of the, if you're the leading person on one of the challenges, you get $150. If you are the leading person on both challenges, you get $300. And I will potentially be offering some additional rewards after I have a discussion with Creative Assembly Usually they're happy to toss in like some free keys, but I haven't talked to them yet, so we're going to put that under to be determined. In any event, let's go over the shindig. So for the Endurance Challenge, your goal will be to play as either Morathi, the head of the Cult of Pleasure, or Arkhan the Black, the nefarious leader of the followers of Nagash. Playing as either of these characters, your goal is simple: to survive as long as possible. However, to make it truly a challenge, I am going to be stacking the deck against you in as many ways as humanly possible to make it where surviving as these two is going to be exceedingly difficult. So here are the rules. Number 1, you will be playing as either Morathi or Arkhan the Black. You can, of course, attempt to play as either of them, or both of them, I should say, but note that if you play as both of them, that's obviously going to prevent you from sinking in time to get the best result on them individually. The goal for the Endurance Challenge, of course, is to survive as long as possible. The winner will be determined by the person who has survived as either Morathi or Arkhan the Black for the longest number of turns. In the event that there is a tie between two players, so say both players survive for 50 turns, then I will look at who used the least number of heroes for the least number of time. For instance, if I have two players that were playing Morathi, they both took 45 turns before they died, and that was the longest anyone survived, I will watch their runs to see how many heroes they use and for how long. So if you use a Dark Elf Master for your entire run, and your opponent uses no heroes whatsoever, I will give the person who used no heroes essentially the tiebreaker. Or if you use the Master for 30 turns throughout your run, but your opponent used a Dark Elf Sorceress for 80 turns, well, that's not the right number, but you get the idea. Whoever uses the least number of characters for the least number of turns will be given the tiebreaker. So it's your odds are better at claiming victory if you don't use any heroes, but obviously that will make life much harder. And I mean at all. So if you're using them even as agents to like assault units or stuff, that still counts. In any event, as far as additional rules go, you're not allowed to use any mods. Just like all of the previous community challenges, you must be playing pure vanilla. You may, of course, alter, edit your camera so that you have like wider camera. That's not a big deal. But anything that influences the gameplay whatsoever, so any mods or outside programs to influence the gameplay, altering game files, command console edits, none of those are okay. You need to be playing the game vanilla. As far as difficulty, you have to play the highest difficulty possible, which currently is Legendary Campaign with Very Hard Battle. Also, the battle timer must be set to unlimited. So this is not one of those challenges where you're going to be allowed to set the timer to 20 minutes and just hide from the AI until time is up and use that to exploit the AI and survive as long as possible. The point of endurance is that you're supposed to be taking a beating and trying to just hang in there as long as possible, so you will need to use an unlimited timer, so you can't just hide from the AI until time's up. Beyond that, other notable rules are that you may play on either large or ultra unit size. I don't really care. I would personally recommend large, but you can do either, and it's not a big deal. And that's pretty much it for... Oh, of course, the last big rule, I nearly forgot, is that the way the Endurance Challenge will truly play out is that you cannot capture any new settlements for any reason. So, for instance, if you're playing as either Morathi or Arkhan the Black, if you attack another enemy settlement, you may sack it, you may raise it, but you may not occupy it. You cannot occupy ruins, you cannot occupy... Arkhan the Black, I believe, starts with 2 settlements, which is fine, you can defend those, but if one of his starting settlements gets blown up, you cannot take it back should you have the means to do so. Once you lose a settlement, that's it, it's gone. So you're not allowed to retake any settlements for any reason. You're not allowed to expand your empire for any reason. You may not confederate any other factions, as that would be allowing you to occupy new territory. You have to simply defend what you start with, period, end of story. And also, total war is in effect. which means that you have to declare war on every single AI faction that you see the instant you see them. So as soon as your campaign starts, the very first thing you should do, open your diplomacy screen, declare war on everybody, every turn. Make sure you're at war with everybody. If I'm watching your run back and I see that you're going turns without having declared war on someone, that's disqualification. Don't do that. So that should make it pretty damn difficult, because you're basically going to be hiding behind your capital, or maybe one other settlement, I think in the case of Arkhan the Black, and just trying to survive as long as possible. Hopefully this will be extremely difficult and a lot of fun. I would really recommend and appreciate if you would please consider live streaming your run if you can. I know not everybody has a PC that's capable of it, but I would really suggest either getting a capture card, or if your PC is able to handle it, live streaming simply while you play the game. The goal of this is really to help try and establish a new community. And we are finally getting to the point where people have started to set up YouTube channels or Twitch channels where they simply live stream their runs. And if you are live streaming your run, please let me know. I would love to update the pinned comment below, and also kind of have like maybe a weekly check-in to basically showcase everyone who's live streaming. If you have a schedule, let me know what it is so I can include that in the post. I would love for people to be tuning in to watch these. If we can kind of get that off the ground, I would really love offering maybe small incentive rewards for the community, or for the streamer that draws in the largest community while doing this, excluding cheaters like Legend of Total War, who may be involved and already have massive communities. I'd really like to see some newbies getting off the ground. It would be a lot of fun. Beyond that, I think that's about everything. I will note that if you intend to participate, you will need to record your run in some fashion, but recording a run on a PC is much easier than live streaming a record. So like, you could just download OBS and have it record as you play, or hell, you could just put a camera or your phone aiming at your screen and record it. I don't care. But in order for a run to be legal, I need to be able to see a recording of your entire run without any like interruptions or whatever. Like, it's fine if you don't do your run in one sitting, but I need to be able, though you probably should do it in one sitting, but I need to be able to see everything uninterrupted, so to speak. I need to be able to see every moment of your campaign. In addition, at the end of your campaign, you need to send me a save file of your save campaign. I believe that is everything. So thank you all so much for watching. I'm really looking forward to seeing what strategies people end up developing in order to win the Endurance Challenge. The cutoff date for entries, it's September 22nd at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you submit something to me on September 23rd at midnight, sorry, doesn't count. Don't do that. You need to submit your runs before the 23rd of September, but that still gives you a solid 2 weeks in order to do everything you want to try and do and make the best run possible. So I really hope this will be a lot of fun for everybody, and I wish you all the best of luck on trying to have the longest surviving run with Morathi and Arkhan the Black, and I can't wait to see what kind of shenanigans everyone gets up to. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see you soon with more updates. Thanks for watching. Bye.